We'd like to call the meeting to order. If you're able, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silent prayer.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You remain standing for a moment of silent prayer. Thank you. The first item on the agenda is to recognize heroic acts of Mr. Deonte Bates, who is in the audience this evening. Whereas on Friday, September 30th, 2022, when a fire broke out at a residence on Willow Bridge in the Charter Township of Ypsilanti, Deonte Bates, a Washtenaw County jail deputy and resident of Ypsilanti Township, sprang into action upon hearing of his neighbor's house fire. And whereas Mr. Bates bravely went into his neighbor's house amidst the flames, where he then pulled his neighbor out of the burning home, and whereas after Mr. Bates successfully removed his neighbor from his burning home, the neighbor was then treated by paramedics, and the homeowner was transferred to the hospital, where he suffered minor injuries due to Mr. Bates pulling him out. Now therefore be it resolved that the Charter Township of Ypsilanti Board of Trustees recognizes and honors Deonte Bates for his selfless and heroic acts, where he helped his neighbor to safety. With a fire raging, seconds matter, and Mr. Bates acted quickly and courageously, and the Charter Township of Ypsilanti is very thankful for his bravery shown. It's dated and signed November 1st, 2022, and by the entire board. Mr. Bates, may I give this to you? At this time, there's public comments. You have 3 minutes to speak, and you can also speak on every agenda item that's on our agenda. At this time, if you would give your name and or Ypsilanti Township resident.
Excuse me, my name is Arloa Kaiser, an Ypsilanti Township resident, and I have a complaint about Peace Neighborhood Center that they want to bring, or are going to bring, into St. Mark's Lutheran Church, old church on South Harris Road. They had a survey, and it was either online or you could go in and they would help you, or they had paper copies. I came and asked for help, asking for like a petition, whatever you want to call it. It's a letter or a short blurb saying that the undersigned want Peace to keep Auntie Yvonne's Community Free Store in St. Mark's Lutheran Church. Well, they're kind of himmy-high and not, and I think it's terrible because I believe that they are not going to allow them to continue. It is a free store. It's like a garage sale, all donations. You can, when you walk in, they greet you like they've known you for a long time. They hand you a plastic bag, and you can take anything that's there. And they have a lot of donations. And so I was there today. I went out and got 106 signatures of local people that said that they would like Auntie Yvonne's Community Free Store to stay. I was there and talked to Bunny, who's in charge, and he said that they didn't count what I got. And these are names from the community of Sugarbrook and Gulf Village. And I am afraid that they are going to come in and do what they dang well please in that space. They don't have, my understanding, the property signed over to them yet from the church. And yet they have all these plans. They've sent out this fancy brochure. And, you know, when they're going to design stuff, when they plan on building and that kind of stuff. And if you live in the community, in the area, if you sign something that this is what you would like, I believe it should be accepted whether they like it or not. They are coming into our community. I know they want to help. But if these are our needs and meets our needs, why can't they continue on with it? So I would like something done with peace that they understand it's our community and we have needs and we'd like them filled first, taken care of. And there are a lot of places that you can go, is my understanding, if you need help with paper, you know, government paperwork and how to get housing and all that kind of stuff. And they don't even know how many people they're going to have in there. They're going to work with this group, that group, blah, blah, blah. Let's have something that works for us now and continue on. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Kaiser. Are there any other public comments?
Hi, my name is Matthew Bentley. I live at 7585 Carlton Drive in Ypsilanti Township. I've been a resident for almost going on 20 years, and I'm running for Lincoln School Board. So I just wanted to come and put a face to the name, ask for some support in the week ahead. I was appointed to the Lincoln School Board about a year and a half ago. There was an open seat. So this is my first time running for re-election. I have 3 kids in the district. Myself, Jason Moore, and Allison Sparks are running for re-election. We are the only 3 that are running that actually have students in the district. I have a 6th grader, an 8th grader, and a 10th grader. And, you know, we're starting to build good things at Lincoln and just want to keep it going. So I just want to put a name to the face, Matthew Bentley, and hope to have your support on the 8th.
Thank you, Matthew.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you.
Do I need to stand up here? Hi, I'm Gail, and I live in Turtle Creek. And I'm here again for the same fight for our subdivision. We need help. It is ridiculous. Again, I had brought up at the last meeting that I've been fighting for speed bumps on my street. A week ago, Sunday night, my daughter's car gets hit. She's parked out in the street. Whoever hit it did not stop. I had to call the police. They came out, but during the time of the car getting hit, there was about 50 gunshots heard. Now, I don't know where they come from. But again, guys, it's ridiculous. It is unreal. And to me, whoever drove that car, because the police seen where the car was parked and I guess spoke with them or went up to the house, they should have been arrested for a hit and run. And just ridiculous. And to hear gunshots. So within a couple days, I tried stopping at the sheriff's office. I wanted to talk to him direct. And I was unable to. Now, how many public people ever go there, take the time to try to talk one-on-one, to really let someone know what we're feeling out there? This is the 3rd time. My house has been hit twice. My daughter's car now. It's like, what's it going to take? to get speed bumps on my way out to my car. And I was parked up in the driveway before I came here. There had to be a car going about 50 miles an hour down Wood Glen. Ridiculous. It only takes one vehicle to kill somebody, not a whole slew of them or however they do all that. But I need your help, and another thing that I'm here and I'm going to speak from my heart. Back when my oldest son was in school, going to Belleville schools, there was kids that was notoriously fighting on the bus. Nothing was really ever done with those boys until the one day I get a call at work. I needed to come take my son to the hospital for stitches. His head had been pushed into the window by these two kids fighting. And I vowed then I will fight for every kid on the bus. I fought hard, Belleville schools, to get cameras put on buses so that the bus drivers could keep their eyes driving where they're supposed to. And the cameras could catch these kids, because you have these parents that always act like, my kid wouldn't do that, my kid. And especially in today's society. I plan on going to Belleville's board meeting on the 14th, and I am going to raise, excuse my language here, hell. There was a kid from the West Willow area that got caught carrying a gun in school. Did you guys hear that story? Okay, why did I have nieces and nephews that go to Belleville schools. None of them heard that story. All of our kids should be made safe. I watched today on TV the Parkland shooting case. It's like, yeah, they got the gun this time, but what's to prevent the next time? Does it take another shooting at a school? But all of Van Buren's school houses should have been notified. They don't know whether we get grandchildren, nieces or nephews, or we're caregivers to these kids. You wouldn't believe, because I walk my dog down my street. When I found out that story, it was already 4 days old. And it was in the independent paper. So I was asking different parents on the street and streets along Wood Glen, did they know about it? No parents knew until I told them the story. We all got to work as one to keep our children safe. I fought years ago to have cameras on the buses. By God, I'm going to fight. I don't know if it was the township that should have notified us, excuse me, or Van Buren District. Because number one, the kid lives in our neighborhood. Why is always the criminals protected? We need to protect the good. And we needed to know that kid so that we can see what other kids he's hanging with. What else has got to happen, guys? I need your help to somehow be able to talk to the sheriff. We need to work as one. And that's all I got to say right now. Sorry.
That's okay. No, thank you. Other comment?
Hello. My name is Joanne McCullum. I'm a resident of Ypsilanti Township in West Willow. I would like to bring your attention to what has been happening in my community. Well, you heard some of it from the last person that spoke. There have been shootings where people were injured or killed. There's terrorism towards the people of my community. The shootings are out of control. The lack of ordinance compliance is out of control. The ordinance workers need to walk down each street instead of drive by them. Our neighborhood has just as many renters as property owners. I'm not against renters. I rented a house myself at one time, and unfortunately, I did not have a good landlord. The roof leaked, the basement flooded, among other things. It was very difficult to get the landlord to fix anything. It wasn't until me and my roommates contacted the Ann Arbor Tenants Union. They coached us on what to do. We ended up in court and won. But what I really remember was what the landlord said to me. She said, I always rent out to students because they didn't care if the roof leaked or the basement flooded. That is a prime example of what many landlords are doing. They're renting out units that have problems, not caring if the tenants are mowing the grass or a nuisance to the neighbors. It's out of hand. I'm suggesting that a tenants union be formed in Ypsilanti Township in order to bring this rental situation under control. The landlords will have to make sure they're placing safe tenants in their units who will take care of the property, and the tenants will have to respect their rental property. And also, I believe that we should use the resources that we have in this county. We have some rich resources here. Supreme Felons is one of them. I did talk to a neighbor who had one of the youth that was terrorizing her. She called Supreme Felons. They came over and they talked to this youth's parent. And since then, the youth has not bothered this neighbor at all. So we need to reach out and use these resources to help our community. I believe we can turn this situation around. I will be meeting with, her name is M. Hopner, I think I'm pronouncing it right, I'm not sure. She's with the Ypsilanti Tenants Union in the near future and talk about including a tenants union in Ypsilanti Township. And I am all about making my community better. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, Monica Ross Williams, 2150 Chevrolet Street. Unfortunately, the item I'm going to be talking about is not on the agenda today, and it probably would not be on the agenda, as it was related into a series of articles that have been inside the Ann Arbor Independent. I hope this board will take some time and basically write a letter or some type of anything in regards to the disgust about what I'm about to discuss. Speaking of Supreme Felons, there was articles that were coming into the Ann Arbor Independent basically stating one of the people that are part of that organization committed a murder act in 1974 or 5. That particular individual was an EMU student. They were around 24 years old. They were shot in the head execution style 3 times. On top of that, basically, there was 3 other might as well say armed robberies committed inside of the state of Arkansas. That particular individual was executed back to Michigan. Now, the next individual that is a part of Supreme Felons, which is absolutely disgusting, is basically convicted of CSC in the 2nd degree. If you do not know what that is criminal sexual conduct in the 2nd degree of a child 13 or below. Now, the county basically gave $1.2 million to this organization. The county, the same county that some people in here are associated with. They did not see any problems with going and looking at any of this information. That particular county basically has said that that's a really good thing. As a person that used to be a correction officer inside of the state of Michigan, A person that is convicted of CSC in the second degree does not deserve $1, and that's not $1.2 million. That is a child. A child was molested, and that is a problem. I hope this body will take a stand. These are just the tip of the icebergs of the stories that have came out of the Ann Arbor Independent. But to say that we inside of this township should be associated with someone who have committed pretty much execution-style murder and another person that has done CSC in the second degree, and I'm hearing that there may be more CSC crimes, no, absolutely not. And I hope this board will take a stance on that, because the person that was murdered still has families, I'm sure, somewhere inside of this area. And their crime, and that is a crime, to lose your life just because you were trying to work inside of a stop and go on Washtenaw and Gulfside in 1975, that crime, that family still doesn't have that person back. And as a person that has dealt personally with losing someone to murder, there's no way that this board, this body, and this township should be associated with anything of the sort at all. So I hope this board and this body will look at each and every one of the articles that have been inside the Ann Arbor Independent and take a stand for victims of crimes.
Thank you, Monica. Are there other comments?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Josh McAllister. I'm a West Willow resident. Also, two Marines director, a Community Partner Fund awardee, along with a lot of these other organizations. I'm coming to you guys here today to request such class with the township between nonprofits and the township to start a conversation so that we could, get into your guys' bidding system and get bids out there so that our nonprofits can bid for them kind of programs that hopefully the township brings. One of the things that the county is doing is setting up our nonprofits so that we can work and bid with the county, and I think that's a good thing at the township level. It would allow us to have some transparency in what every one of us do, and be able to work with the new liaison officer that you guys put in for the pilot program. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other comments? Hearing none, we'll go to the consent agenda. We have the minutes of the October 18th work session, regular meetings, statements and checks.
So move.
Support.
Motion Gerald Moore, support Wilson. Questions or comments on this consent agenda? Did you want to make a quick comment?
Yeah, I'll make a quick comment. My apologies.
You need to use a microphone, I'm sorry. The person, the person who does the minutes, they're not in the room either, so it's important that everyone talks into the microphone.
Good evening, everyone. So this is going to be very brief. I just wanted to comment on the utilization of the Community Resource Center over in the West Willow neighborhood. I just wanted to iterate how it is an essential heartbeat of the community. It's where we have a lot of our community gatherings, where we gather not only for community building, but also to share in joy and love. Some of the folks who are here today, we use that very often. We use that to connect with our neighbors. We use that to connect with the youth in the neighborhood. And even some of the folks on the board here came to the community center as well, and sharing of that space as we talked about how to better our space and our community as well. So I say all of that because I know y'all really have say and put into the allocation of funds and monies. And that's one of the things that we are always talking about is the how essential that space is and how there's a need to even put more funding in supporting that space as well.
Could you give your name for the record, please?
Yes, Akeen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, and we have a motion support for the consent agenda. Questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. The next item is the attorney's report. Mr. Winter?
Madam Chair, just a brief update in regards to the ongoing issue involving Galt Village. The board's aware that Judge Conkey has reaffirmed the previous court orders of two other circuit court judges and has ordered the Galt Village to be demolished. The board's also aware that last week there was 7 demolition contractors who went through, did an on-site inspection of Galt Village that was in conjunction with the court order and specifically with the township's consultant from SME. We do have 7 bids. This coming Friday, we will return to Circuit Court. My law partner, Dennis O'McLean, along with Chief Billing Official Dave Bellers and Planning Director Jason, have been, and Belinda Kingsley and Tom Greenwood have all been very instrumental in seeing this process reach this point. And so we are hoping that this coming Friday, the judge will look at what the bids we have prepared, or at least we have obtained, and that will give us the go-ahead to allow us to come back to the Township Board, perhaps as early as November 15th, and ask this board to select the recommended contractor to get started with the demolition of Galt Village. I think right now that all of us have witnessed what has gone on over there, the amount of time that has gone by, the amount of resources that have been expended, and we're at that critical mass point right now where I think we can honestly see that there's going to be a new day coming once the demolition contractor has been selected. So this coming Friday at 1:30 is the hearing before Judge Conkey in regards to those 7 bids that were obtained. On a different note, for some reason, the township continues to have outstanding issues with this property at 6480 Rossonville Road. This is the property on Rossonville Road where someone a year or so ago decided to turn it into a semi-trailer trucking lot, and we went to court and they prevailed. This property was then sold to a construction company located in Canton Township, Northgate Construction, who is a roofing company, and we discovered through complaints received by the Ordinance Department that this property had now been used as a dumping ground for all the construction materials associated with tearing off roofs. Essentially, I sent pictures over showing the extremely disturbing photographs of the berm that's been created in approximately a month of all the construction materials. I have no idea if these materials have asbestos, if they're roofing materials. It could very well be asbestos, given the age of some of these properties that have been demolished. But at this point in time, just giving the board a update that given the exigency of the circumstances and given that we have already been to court on this property before, 6480 Rossonville Road, that we will proceed to take further action unless by this Friday all of those materials have been removed. I don't think it's going to happen given the mass quantity and given the advent of the coming winter months. It's imperative that that gets removed before the snow flies. On a different note, we were informed that in regards to the negotiation, in regards to the labor negotiations of the TPOAM in the township, we were notified that the union did approve the contract that was negotiated, so we intend on bringing that contract to this board also the next board meeting to go into executive session or closed session to discuss that contract, and our recommendation will be to approve this once the board has vetted and answered any questions. At the same board meeting, we also are going to bring forward a proposed a purchase agreement that we believe will be the beginning of some strong economic development here in the township. And those details will also be outlined in closed session in regards to the proposed purchase agreement of a portion of the Seaver Farm. And so the next board meeting could be a lengthy one, and so I'm not really sure how many other budgets you still have to go through or for your board meeting, but if necessary, we could be available to start at 4 o'clock if need be. If not, then we'll do whatever the board instructs us to do. Just to give you a heads up, though, we have some pretty important items coming up here in 2 weeks, and so we'll send those out to you in a timely manner. But again, the good news, I think, right now is that the Galt Village is moving forward in a very expeditious manner, and it's our determination to have this demolition of Galt Village completed by 2023, or during the year 2023, since we're almost there anyways. But that's our goal, is to have it completed during the time period. And the residents of Galt Village, the residents of all the neighborhoods surrounding Galt Village, or Grove Road, people in this township, that has been a blighted eyesore, dangerous building, and it's not going to be redeveloped. It's too far gone. It's a fire hazard to all the first responders, and so it's a dangerous building. It's been declared by the courts to be such. And so we're anxious to proceed with the hearing on Friday and come back before you in 2 weeks.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, we have old business. There's 3 items that were tabled. So if we could do a motion to remove from table items 1, 2, and 3. Motion by Swanson, supported by Eldridge, to remove from table. We have to do a roll call vote on removing the items from table. Swanson?
Yes.
Newman?
Yes.
Peterson?
Yes.
Rowe?
Yes.
Stumbo votes yes. Eldridge?
Yes.
Wilson?
Yes.
The items are properly before the board now. We have a request to increase the golf rates at Green Oaks Golf Course for the 2023 golf season.
So move.
Support.
There was a motion by Rowe, supported by Peterson, and this was to add a new rate for non-residents to the golf course. So it's a non-resident senior rate that will be available at Green Oaks Golf Course. It's our first time doing that, so we have to vote on the increases every year. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion approved. Number 2 is request to approve the proposal from Communications Square for the design, licensing, and support and migration services for Office 365 in an amount not to exceed
$145,400. I would so move the motion.
Support.
contingent upon attorney review. Is there questions? This was tabled at the last meeting, and at the work session, Travis, our IT director, came and explained, we're basically getting, migrating for the Office 365. Very expensive, but we have to do it. We hope to have it done in 2022. If not, we'll have to rebudget in 2023. It has an annual maintenance cost of $65,000. Any questions? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Number 3 under old business is a request to rescind the approval for the Comcast proposal for the SIP trunk project and to accept the proposal from Clear Rate Communication for SIP trunk service.
So move.
Support.
Motion Rose, support Eldridge. Your discussion? This project will be completed this year. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None. Motion carries. Under new business, we have a request to set a public hearing date of December 6, 2022 at approximately 7 p.m. for the 2023 fiscal year budget.
Move to approve.
Support.
Motion Wilson, support Rowe. Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Item number 2 is budget amendment number 14.
I have a motion to amend the 2022 budget amendment number 14. I would move to increase the general fund budget by $13,000 to $11,172,105 and approve the line item changes as outlined. Move to increase the fire fund budget by $68,441 to $4,693,486 and approve the line item changes as outlined. And move to increase the recreation fund budget by $3,000 to $756,141 and approve the line item changes as outlined. And move to increase the compost fund budget by $4,695 to $757,764 and approve the line item changes as outlined.
Is that a motion?
So move the budget amendment.
Support.
Motion Rowe, support Eldridge. The budget amendments were for increased costs for mailings, so our postage had to be increased. And the fire fund, there was 2 firefighters who retired, so we have to do payouts for them. Recreation fund, we actually received a grant for $3,000 for the senior program, so we have to accept that and in order to expense it. And from the compost site, we had a PTO payout from one of our employees. Questions or comment? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Number 1, under authorization of bids, request to seek bids for the nuisance vegetation and cleanup abatement.
So move Peterson.
Support.
Motion Peterson, support Wilson. And the bids would come back to the township for approval. This is for nuisance or noxious weeds. The tall grass that is next to speeding is one of the largest complaints that we have. So that we go out for bid on this. State law allows us to go in and mow the property if they fail to do it within 24 hours. This is after June 1st.
Madam Chair.
Yes.
I know we discussed in the work session, is everyone on the board comfortable if we do the electronic bid submission like normal? I just want to clarify since it wasn't listed that way in the packet. Thank you.
Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Number 2 is request to seek bids for vinyl floor replacement at the fire station headquarters located at 222 South Ford Boulevard.
So moved.
Motion Eldridge, support Swanson. Their discussion? This will also come back to the board. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Number 3 is request to award the low bid from Concrete Floor Treatment to apply epoxy floor finishing to the fire station headquarters, which is located at 222 South Ford Boulevard, in the amount of $23,923, which is budgeted.
So move Peterson.
Support.
Motion Peterson, support Eldridge to award the low bid. Is there questions or comment?
So I don't know if you'd call it a friendly amendment, but I would like it to say pending legal review, since in work session we discussed a contract being written, so I don't know how that would happen, but I'd like it to say that that's going to take place.
That'd be a friendly amendment, Peterson?
I accept that.
Yes.
All right.
Thank you.
We have a motion and support. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. There's no other business, and board member updates were done at the work session.
Motion to adjourn. Support.
Motion Eldridge, support Wilson to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting adjourned. 7:30.